today, Ukrainian President Zelensky and European allies will meet virtually with President Trump and Vice President Vance, 2 days before Trump's face-to-face meeting with Vladimir Putin in Alaska, which the White House is now calling simply a listening exercise.
The president is agreeing to this meeting at the request of President Putin. And the goal of this meeting for the president is to walk away with a better understanding of how we can end this war.
Trump himself downplaying expectations as well.
I think it'll be good, but it might be bad. Probably in the first 2 minutes, I'll know exactly whether or not a deal can be made.
Trump had wanted a
I'll take one look at him, and let me tell you, when I put my eyes on that beautiful man, when I see him, I'll say, Vladimir, I'll take one look at him and I'll know whether he's gonna deal or not deal. I'll tell him, Vladdy, stop, and he'll stop. But I'll tell him, Vladdy, don't stop, as he thrusts, because I love him. I am the apple of his eye, and he is the apple of my eye. There's one thing he likes more than Ukraine, and that is me.
Trilateral meeting that included Zelensky, but Putin rejected that.
Putin doesn't want Zelensky around that table because that would reveal that he actually doesn't want to negotiate. And he just wants to have a picture with President Trump and also postpone sanctions.
Photo ops are not always successful. In the president's first term, his Hanoi summit with North Korea's Kim Jong-un ended abruptly with no progress in stopping Kim's nuclear programs. And for this upcoming meeting with Putin, even if there is progress, the president suggests any path to peace will require Ukraine to give up territory, something President Zelensky has flatly said will not happen without security guarantees. And Zelensky saying this morning that there is no sign that the Russians are preparing to end the war, and all countries that want peace should force Russia to make peace. Robin?
We'll see what happens there. All right, Martha, our thanks to you.
Russia face any consequences if Vladimir Putin does not agree to stop the war after your meeting on Friday?
Yes, they will. Yeah.
Whenever people say, what will it be? He goes, I won't tell you. It's a secret. I won't tell you. I'll keep my secrets. What is this? Okay, stop saying that.
There will be consequences.
Sanctions, tariffs?
There will be, I don't have to say, there will be very severe consequences.
I don't have to say, but there will be consequences.
Consequences, yes. Go ahead, please. In the back? Yeah, please.
Yes. Mr. President, how were your calls this morning with European leaders, and was it your call not to invite President Zelensky to your meeting with Putin?
No, just the opposite. No. We had a very good call. He was on the call. President Zelensky was on the call. I would rate it a 10, very, very friendly. I know the leaders because I was at NATO, as you know. I took it from 2% to 5%. 2% that wasn't paid, 5% that is paid, which is trillions of dollars in defense capability. No, it was always going to be, I was going to meet with President Putin, and then after that, I'm going to call the leaders and President Zelensky. I'm going to call President Zelensky, and then I'll call, probably in that order, the leaders. There's a very good chance that we're going to have a second meeting, which will be more productive than the first, because the first is I'm going to find out where we are and what we're doing. Again, this is Biden's war. This isn't my war. He got us into this.
You are the president of the United States of America. It's been 8 months. This is your 8th month into the presidency. It doesn't work that way. Why the fuck would anybody still entertain it? Like, this is so stupid. You ran on ending it day one. He said, I'm going to one frame it. I'm going to one tap it. Me and Vladdy Poo, we go way back. I'm going to one tap it, one frame. Nobel Peace Prize for me, please. Bye-bye. Why did you say that then? You're not a private citizen. You're the president. It's your war now, okay? I think he was lying. Nah. Trump would never. Not my Trumpy Poo. What? He would never lie, dude. Remember when he said he was going to end the war? He was going to end the war in Gaza too. No more war. I'm going to end it. I'm going to end the wars in the Middle East. No new wars. Oops, bombed Iran. That was good, though. Or when he said no cuts to Medicaid, that was fun because there's 800 billion of those no cuts to Medicaid. That was cool. What has he done? What has he done for you lately? Nothing. This is why I wish I had more hogs. Like, I'm low key. Like, look, I don't like the debate bro sphere and the debate bro style content, but I genuinely do miss the hogs. Nowadays, I feel like the most people that I duke it out with that call me a fucking terrorist, you know, Hasanabi, are fucking pro-Israel dick-riding bots that happen to be of the like the liberal variety. I need me like a real Trumpian hog. I'm hogless. I want to talk to the Trumpian hogs that come in here to be like, nah, Trump is the president, baby. Like, it sucks. It sucks that they're not around anymore. Like, they've just, I don't know. Like, do I have to wait for Asmongold to be done with his stream so that they come in here and start talking about Trump is your president, bitch? So I can fucking talk to them directly to be like, hey, man, where my hog gone? All my hog gone. Want us to cosplay? No, it's cringe. Yeah, it's just, I think part of it is because Trump is not necessarily as popular as he once was. I guess like if you're under the age of like 35, you're you know, like flies to a shit, slam to the Asmongold stream, so you don't even entertain the good fight of kicking some libtard ass. You know what I mean?
And it should have never happened. This war would have never happened if I were president. But it is what it is, and I'm here to fix it. And I'm here to stop 6,000, 7,000 people last week. 7,213 people last week were killed, mostly soldiers. But missiles being lobbed into towns don't exactly help either. But mostly soldiers, and Ukrainian and Russian. They're not American soldiers, but you know, if we can save a lot of lives, it would be a great thing. I've stopped 5 wars in the last 6 months. And on top of that, we wiped out the nuclear capability of Iran, obliterated it. It's turned out to be a correct word, by the way, because, you know, some of the press said, well, maybe it wasn't obliteration. It was obliteration. We're going to meet with, I would say, the second meeting. If the first one goes okay, we'll have a quick second one. I would like to do it almost immediately. And we'll have a quick second meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky and myself, if they'd like to have me there. And that would be a meeting where maybe it could be absolutely work. But the first meeting will not work that out. Certain great things can be gained in the first. It's going to be a very important meeting, but it's setting the table for the second meeting. I think the second meeting, if the second meeting takes place, now there may be no second meeting, because if I feel that it's not appropriate to have it because I didn't get the answers that we have to have.
I'm not kidding when I say this. He feels kind of jovial. Maybe I'm being too parasocial here, but I see a new side of Trump after like a month of constantly having to deal with like the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. And I legitimately think it's because he's excited to see Vladimir Putin in person. I don't know. This is my most like blue anon Russiagate adjacent theory. And I know I don't entertain that stuff usually, but like, he is just communicating so much. His genuine admiration for Vladimir Putin, and it's hard not to fucking point it out. Like, we're gonna meet. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be glorious. We're gonna kiss a lot. I'm gonna kiss him right in the mouth, okay? And then I'm gonna put him up for a Nobel Peace Prize, and then he's gonna put me up for a Nobel Peace Prize, and then we're gonna do a lovers to fighters arc. That's right, we're gonna kiss so hard and sloppy. Won't kiss Zelensky, won't kiss El Disney. No. When he says Mr. President, I want not to kiss him. Do you think anything is going to come out of these peace talks other than a ceasefire? I don't even know if there's going to be a ceasefire. Ukrainians don't believe that there's going to be a ceasefire. They want one. Overwhelming majority of Ukrainians now they favor a ceasefire rather than continued war. And yet also majorities of Ukrainians also believe that there won't be a ceasefire. And part of the reason, or a big part of the reason why there won't be a ceasefire is because Vladimir Putin doesn't want a fucking ceasefire. So this is a negotiation that is almost entirely in the hands of Vladimir Putin. Like, there's only one guy who can just say, all right, we're done. It's a ceasefire. And Donald Trump, I'm not even going to give him credit for this, has literally rolled out the fucking red carpet. You might say they have very little points of leverage because they've exhausted all options in terms of like the nuclear level of sanctions that were applied to Russia and all this stuff, which there's truth to that sentiment. And on top of that, like, the battle lines are drawn in the ways that they are, and Vladimir Putin has the upper hand when it comes to how to continue engaging in this war, and therefore he holds all the cards. And part of that assessment, paired up with Donald Trump's like weird love for Vladimir Putin, has basically caused the ceasefire conversation to take place in a way where not only is he undermining the Ukrainian side, which is our proxies in this, okay, which is America's proxies in this, while also simultaneously literally saying to Vladimir Putin that he will engage in de facto recognition of all of the already conquered territory and give it to Russia. And even that is not enough. To me, I feel like that's the maximalist position. No demands being made for like Russian withdrawal from any territories whatsoever. And instead, instead saying all the places that you got, that's yours now. Have fun with that. While simultaneously, Russia is still turning around and saying, oh, but there are places we haven't actually militarily conquered yet, and we want those as well. It's insane. The calculation at this point is going to be helping Vladimir Putin come to a conclusion that the continuation of war will be too costly for him, as opposed to coming to terms with a ceasefire negotiation. And I don't even know if America has that power, especially outside of bringing China to the table, because the European side partnerships are insignificant. Okay, they are marginal. They are irrelevant to this conversation because they can't move without NATO. So either they disband NATO and then decide that they can also be in the crosshairs of Russia directly. No more Article 5, no more nuclear defense pact. So they can freely send Polish troops into Ukraine to defend Ukraine militarily, which is not going to happen, obviously. I don't think that that's going to happen. Or you bring China to the table, as China is the primary backer of Russia, both politically and even sometimes economically, and put together a decent solution, a decent proposal, which will probably offer some goodies to China in the process as well, which, again, not likely to happen as well, because America's position on China is totally anti-China. You are insane if you think EU countries will leave NATO so they can declare war on Russia. Literally just insane. No, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I know. I'm saying that it's just that, like, all of the options are insane. Do you understand? All of the options are unlikely, and all of the options are equally insane. They're not going to disband NATO so they can, like, declare war on Russia. They're not going to declare war on Russia while they have NATO, because then it's nuclear holocaust. They're not going to forcibly deport Ukrainian nationals, Ukrainian refugee men to the front lines to make up for the lack of manpower that Ukraine is experiencing currently. Or they're not going to lower the age of conscription so that the next generation of Ukraine is completely fucking wiped out in the process with no reasonable guarantees that they'll be able to successfully defend Ukraine from further Russian incursion. So the only peaceful outcome here is to try and bring China to the table to put together a proposal that is reasonable. That also is impossible, seemingly. That also is impossible. I'm just giving you what the most peaceful proposal, the most peaceful and meaningful solution that will be a permanent resolution and a permanent end to this conflict versus the other options. I guess the sleeper pick here, or the wild card, would be Turkey, which has a unique status of being a NATO country that happens to sometimes duke it out with other NATO countries. So maybe they'll just use the second largest military in the fucking in the NATO coalition and use the Turkish military to defend Ukraine or something. But they have to make up for the lack of manpower. Either they make up for the lack of manpower by deportations of Ukrainian refugees, or by forcing Ukraine to lower the age of conscription, or by sending like actual military, actual foreign militaries into Ukraine. And you can't do that when you're in NATO, with the one exception of, I guess, the Turkish military, because of Turkey's like weird position. But even then, that would be a bridge that would just not happen, especially considering Turkey's proximity to Russia and Turkey's dealings with Russia as well as a regional power. So no, it's not going to happen.